So, I want to talk about the bathroom situation in Steubenville, Ohio in the 1970s. I contend a great way to look at history is through the prism of little nuances, like how you always stunk of cigarette smoke in the 70s because people smoked everywhere, in line at the supermarket, in malls, in college hallways and lounges, in hospital rooms. Bathrooms in the 70s were just so different. Let's take fast food. This goes back even before they had the drive-throughs. The entrance to the bathrooms were on the outside of the building. They left them unlocked during business hours. McDonald's on Sunset was on the side of the building. Burger Chef downtown, you had to go clear to the back of the building if you wanted to use the restroom. I got locked in as a kid. The door frame was like a little bent, I guess. And after like 10 minutes, my mom had to come and let me out. 45 years later, I'm still just a little bit traumatized about that. Then there were the pay toilets. A lot of department stores had these. I cannot overemphasize the importance of carrying a dime with you in the 1970s. It could get you into a bathroom stall, feed a parking meter so you could park your car, or make a phone call. Every caring mother would check if you had at least one dime in your pocket when you left home. You have not lived until you walk into a bathroom and see somebody trying to crawl over or under a stall door. It is the most hilarious thing you will ever see. Or sometimes it turns people into beggars trying to get a dime out of you as soon as you walk into the bathroom. Or sometimes they would just ask you if you had change for a quarter. Half the time, the little coin box that they had on each stall door wouldn't work. People would jam them up with like slugs or washers. But I will say it did build a camaraderie with people because when you came out of the stall, you always wanted to hold the door if somebody was waiting to go in so that they could save a dime. Also, graffiti in the bathrooms was really popular, very inventive. I'm not encouraging it, but part of me misses it, maybe just a little bit. Some bathrooms had little vending machines. They sold things like combs and grooming products. A bar might have condoms. Women's had like these little perfume sprayers, and you could put a dime in and choose like different kinds of perfumes, and it would spritz them. The Grand Theater downtown, it had a vending machine. For some reason, as a kid, that thing always fascinated me. I can't remember exactly what was in it, but I thought it had like little toys or something. The architecture of bathrooms was a little bit odd because they always seemed like you had one or two steps you had to go down. I'm not exactly sure why. I'm thinking maybe if the bathroom flooded, the water wouldn't go out in the hallway. I don't know. It was really bad luck if you were in a wheelchair in the 1970s. It's like everything. You had revolving doors on buildings you had to get through. The sidewalks didn't have cutouts to get on and off the sidewalks. And, if you were in a wheelchair, you might as well just stay at home in the 1970s. Really bad situation. The next notable bathroom mention comes in the mid 1970s when malls were opening around the country. Steubenville, Ohio had the wonderful Fort Steuben Mall. Well, it was then. And I still think it's the greatest achievement of Steubenville, Ohio, bar none. Now, scientifically, the human body has this throwback feature that conserves water. But when you get around water, the body thinks it's okay, so it makes you pee. And the problem is, every mall in the country had water fountains. I love the water fountains, matter of fact. Fortune Mall had a bunch of them in the center of the mall and some on each end of the mall. So there was these studies, because apparently people will study anything, that people went to the bathroom way more times in malls. Luckily, they had bathrooms everywhere in the malls. I hope we can all agree on one thing, that the most disgusting way to dry our hands in the bathrooms were those old cloth long towels that you would have to try to pull out of those horrible contraptions. You usually could only get about 2 new inches of the towel out, and then it would lock up on you. I guess it was sort of like the feature they have on seatbelts, how it kind of catches you, the shoulder strap. So the towel was always wet and gross from people before you. It was supposed to go like in a circle and get pulled back into the machine, back like underneath another roll, but it never worked. It would often hang clear down to the floor and it'd be laying there in a big pile. They would send them out to be dry cleaned, but you learned very early just to air dry your hands or dry them on your pants. My absolute favorite way to flush, my favorite flushing device was a big round button, like a dimmer switch on the car, like the old dimmer switches. It was on the floor of the bathroom, and you could just step on it, and it would flush. I wish they'd go back to those because let's be honest, how many of you still flush with your feet, no matter how high that little lever is? I know I do. Well, that's it. I bet you didn't think I had that much to say on the bathrooms of 1970s in Steubenville, Ohio. For now, it's me, Camroy, here on YouTube.